Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. How you fellas doing?
We're doing great, but my question is, do we need to thank you for making our 500 prediction come true, or do you need to thank us for willing the team to 6-1 in the last week like we predicted 1 week ago today?
I'm not going to take any credit. You guys get all the credit.
Thank you.
But just throwing it out in the universe, that was we did it. We got there, but it's just the beginning now. We got to move on from here and get well above that.
Okay, and that's exactly like how I wanted to ask that. Like, how do you balance that? Like, this is a good achievement. We did something as a team together, but it needs to be just the beginning. How do you talk to the team about what they need to do now?
I don't think anything changes. I mean, we got nothing left than trying to get to a championship standard. So I think it's just a good, obviously you gotta walk before you can run. So getting back to 500 was obviously a goal, and in order to get to where we want to get to, we had to get to that point anyway. So I think it's just a good, day to say, hey, we got here. Let's just keep pushing this thing forward and keep tightening things up and keep improving. And I think with this group in particular, you've seen their ability to improve in a lot of ways, not just in the way the style of play and the way they play, but and just tightening up the offensive side and making better decisions and putting a little bit more pressure on the opposing team constantly. So it's all the guys believe it, and they're working hard to get it done every day.
Woody, I guess I'm speaking for myself here, but kind of in a question form. Wouldn't you say it's more of us and the fans that are kind of like 24 and 24 rather than just being a player, kind of 50 games into a season? It's like, all right, well, there's 112 more of these or so. So, it's kind of, I'm excited that you guys are 24 and 24, but would you say kind of like in the clubhouse, it's kind of like, yeah, well, there's 100 more of these to see where we end up.
Yeah, no doubt. No, listen, one thing I encourage our guys to do is embrace every day, regardless of where we're at. We got to find joy. We got to love every day, man. I love coming to the field every day. This group in particular, it's a tremendous group to just, get behind and support and push, and they want it. They believe in it. So, yeah, I know we got 100 and some games left, but the only game we can win is today. And we're going to put everything we have into winning that game today. Jeffrey Springs, we love him to death. He used to be a former Ranger, but we're going to do everything we can to beat his butt and put as much pressure on him as we can. So, the fact that we're 24-24, that's great, but that wasn't our goal that we set out to at the beginning of the year. We had to go through a lot of adversity early on. We weren't playing as well as we'd like. We were 2-9, 6-14, I believe, at one point, and we knew we had a little uphill climb to get to where we are right now, but, the guys are stronger for it. They're better for it. And, we're ready to kind of get a tough schedule. We don't make any excuses for anything, but, we did have a tough schedule and then some tough pitching. But right now we're in prime position to kind of take this thing forward, but we can't take our foot off the gas. I think that's the biggest message.
Well, and with all that in mind, I'm just saying this as a fan and not what the team should do. Can I go ahead and place my vote for Martin Perez for Cy Young right now?
I think it's a safe bet. It's hard to come up with anything more to say about him, just because he's been so good. It's been remarkable, honestly, what he's done, and just the way he goes about it. I guess the humility that he has, I guess from all the years that he's pitched and what he's learned, and dedicating his game. He still got the 4 Evaldi on his hat. Tony Beasley gave him the ball after the game. The day he pitched the complete game. It's just, this guy's heart is as good as I've been around, and everything that he's learned up to this point, and it's all kind of coming together. And listen, there's going to be bumps in the road at some point. Like, this guy's been phenomenal, but I just love his mentality and what he does with his ball club. Not just on the field, obviously, in between the lines, but what he's done off the field has been spectacular.
Did you have to, hold your breath or anything? I think it was in the 3rd inning when the ball rocketed off his shin. Yeah.
No, absolutely. It's you just never know. And honestly, it happened twice yesterday in that moment, and then when Josh Smith got hit in the arm. I just, those are things that are out of your control. This guy could be in perfect position, and it's baseball, it's life. That ball could have hit him in a 1 centimeter to the left or right, and had a broken bone, or who knows, right? It's just afterwards you just see it. And I was actually excited to hit him in the shin, as long as it's not broken. Because I've done that a billion times as a hitter. It hurts, but you can still support it. You can put pressure on it. If they hit him in the calf, like it did in Philly, that's a tough one because that'll stiffen up, it'll tighten up, and could eventually lead to, even if he stayed in the game, could eventually lead to like a pulled muscle or something like that. But the shin it'll be fine. It's just going to have a little, big bump there for a little bit, but overall that'll heal. But he pitched, obviously, he put pressure on it right away, didn't feel it. He said it kind of woke him up, so good for Walsh for waking him up.
A wake up, huh? Okay, all right, I'll accept that.
That's how good he is.
Yeah, I'm already awake, but it woke me up a little more. I like that. The position Woody going into this season, I think we always kind of knew there was maybe not a revolving door, but there was some uncertainty at third base, and you've given some opportunities there. What are your thoughts on this kid, Josh Smith, right now?
Oh man, it's obviously a special debut. Not surprised at all by the way this kid came in and played. One thing that really kind of stood out in spring training is this guy's fearlessness. He loves to be out there. He's cold as ice. When he's out there, you could tell he never even smiled, after he got his first hit. And I know he was super excited. I know that meant a world to him. It was a dream come true, but he kind of, just the way he plays the game, the way he competes, he's a really good fit for us and what we're all about. This guy's attention to detail is off the charts. So, listen, he's going to get a lot of opportunity, obviously, since here we didn't call him up to come up and sit the bench. It's kind of in his hands, but, we're not going to rush anything. He's got to earn his playing time. He's got to earn, the at-bats just like everybody else had to do. But he'll get a good look, that's for sure. And I'm excited to have him.
Woody, I know it's only 2 games, but from a pitcher standpoint, I love what he's shown defensively at third base. Mm-hmm. So talk about I know we're talking about offensively because it's good to see 3 hits, and he got on base a couple times yesterday, but defensively, I feel like he's looking very comfortable at third base. Is that his natural position? Is that where you see his major league position in the future?
Listen, it's hard to say not, because obviously the 2 guys we have up the middle. I think his best position would either be second or short. That's probably his natural position. He's obviously played a lot of third because of us signing Marcus and Corey. Those positions are going to be pretty much taken for a little while. Right now that's his best position because of where he fits on our field. But I think naturally he's probably second base. He's a really good shortstop. You could see his arm strength is plus arm strength, ton of range. He moves, he gets off the ball really well. Play he made to his left yesterday made it look pretty easy. So chopper to his left and cut in front of Corey and kind of threw it from the side. Just the ease with which he threw that ball and the confidence he had to do that, said a lot because he hadn't really had any action. He had 1 ground ball prior to that, so I was kind of looking to see if there would be any kind of hesitation to just let it fly like that. But he's a special player, man. He covers all areas. Really good base runner, good defender, great makeup, good instincts, and obviously can hit.
One thing you talked to us a few weeks ago was make a baseball play. You were challenging your team a couple weeks ago about making a baseball play. What I've loved over the last 10 days or so is how much you guys are running on the bases, laying down a bunt here and there, maybe hitting the ball the other way, whether it's to move the runner over or to get a base hit. Like, I don't know, you guys are just playing, I guess you can call it old school baseball, now, but it's just, there's a lot of kind of putting pressure on the pitcher and putting pressure on the defense, which to me, I believe has led to some of these great wins.
Yeah, and I think that's honestly, since I've been here, that's always been the core philosophy is applying pressure and finding ways to do that. And I've really asked certain guys, Eli being one of them, he uses speed. He puts a bunt down, he can put a bad bunt down, he could beat it out. Or just create chaos. You got to throw it in right field, and we've done really good at that. Guys have embraced it. On the bases, that's always been something we've been good at. But once we get the offense rolling and we start, really training Donnie and Tim, are getting these guys from an offensive standpoint to understand the challenges that they're facing every night from a pitching standpoint and how to counter that, how to attack that, how to stay inside the baseball, how to get the cheap hits, get the jam shot hits. Use the whole field. It is a little bit old school, but in the new school setting. And I think that's our biggest advantage. And if we can create chaos every night and really suffocate that opposing pitcher from both ends, just this guy throws the ball over the plate, we're going to hammer it. If he doesn't, we're going to take our walks. We're going to bunt. We're going to do certain things to get on base and pressure. We're going to steal bases. They give us times, we're going to run. We're not shy about that. It just really forces that opposing team to kind of what do we do? And when they don't know what to do, that's when the head starts spinning and they make mistakes. And, we have the offense now with the guys in the batter's box to really make them pay for it when they do make mistakes.
How do you think the team is holding up physically? I don't mean like from an injury perspective, but 24 games in 24 days.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all have only had one day off. You still got another week in front of you. I know you're all about let's just play every day, but is the team holding up physically, you feel like?
I do. I kind of apologized to him the other day because I felt like the game in Oakland, we were worn out. We were tired. And listen, they won't make an excuse. I'll make it for them, but you could tell they were just physically tired. I had to give Adolis a day off, and I got to do a better job. But it's hard because we're trying to win games, and I know how important some of these guys are in the lineup. But now that we have more consistency throughout the lineup, it's a little easier to give a guy a day off like Corey or Calhoun or Adolis or even Mitch Garver. Getting him out of the lineup before was tough when we were operating on all cylinders. But we got some more flow to our lineup. It's a little easier to kind of give those guys. But I have to do that because we want to be good for 4 months. And what I ask of these guys and what we ask of these guys every night is hard. It's harder than most other teams. You see other teams, they don't play as hard. They don't, play every pitch like we do. I mean, our guys they're intense. Look at Adolis yesterday from the first pitch. Makes a dive and play on the first pitch of the game or the first hitter of the game. This is the way we play the game. And so it takes a little bit more out of you than maybe a normal setting. But our guys are all in. They haven't backed down from that. Really proud of them up to this point.
Now, since we called it dead to rights last week, I'm conservatively setting this current week at 5-2 for the Rangers. I know 7-0 would be the goal, but can you live with 5-2 as we've defined it?
Yeah, absolutely. I just want to start with 1-0 today, but yeah, I'll absolutely take 5-2.
All right, one day at a time, Kevin.
No, they have to take it as one day at a time.
We can do whatever.
He knows as a media member, I can wildly speculate however I see fit.
Gotcha.
So,
right.
No doubt.
See, that's been waiting. Thank you very much for the time. Appreciate it, and obviously looking forward to Tampa Bay tonight.
All right, sounds good, fellas.
There you go. Texas Rangers manager Chris Woodward with the quick, no doubt.
No doubt.
He knows about that.